Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about math and me showing my work. I've had a request to show my work on something. And it's funny because I went back and looked, and I have talked about this over and over and over again on this channel, and I never explained it. I've used this math on this channel before, but never actually broke it down. So we're going to go over it today. And it will explain why there are some people who are very comfortable making, quote, bold proclamations. And the message that I got, it starts off with a giant list of names, and those names that I recognized were defense analysts. It says, these people have all said that Russia cannot win. And then there's another list of names, and my name is on this list, and it says, these people have said that Russia can take it but can't hold it. How can you be so sure? Asking me to show my work. Okay, so we have talked about this concept in relationship to the wild theory about the UN coming here, the idea that Trump was going to use the military to maintain control. We've talked about it in relationship to Iraq and Afghanistan. It's come up before, but I've never given the math. In 2003, Rand Corporation did a study, and it attempted to determine the number of troops you need to successfully occupy an area with minimal resistance. And I want you to keep that part in mind, minimal. I don't have a way to quantify this mathematically, but just looking at Ukraine, I don't think that's going to be minimal. If you're not familiar with Rand Corporation, if you ever want to know anything about the military, they've done a study on it. They did it right. And by anything, I mean anything from how many troops does it take to occupy an area to is this piece of equipment really that effective to do trained soldiers impact readiness. They have done a study on it. So what did they determine back in 2003? You need one soldier per 50 civilians. Now, normally, because of the way people do math, this is written as 20 per 1,000. Okay? How accurate is this number? I want to say it's 90-something percent. There are a few outliers, but not many. If there are not 20 soldiers per 1,000, the occupation fails. It's really that simple. There are not a lot of outliers, and when they occur, Bosnia is one. They didn't hit 20. I want to say it was 18, 17, somewhere in there. They're normally incredibly close. And then there are some situations where the population isn't the whole country. It's like confined to a geographic area. So the number of troops that were used were much less. But if you were to just take the population of that geographic area, it would be about 20 per 1,000. And because I know somebody's going to ask, I'll go ahead and tell you, in Afghanistan, wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. At the highest troop levels, it wasn't even close. Okay, so 20 per 1,000. What is Russia's current ratio? 4. 4. The number of troops they have committed thus far, 4. And that's actually giving them the benefit of the doubt that they haven't suffered a lot of losses. I'm fairly certain they have. And that they actually have a little bit more troops than we know about. It's at 4. That is not enough. So, what would it take troop number-wise? Now, keep in mind, currently, the estimates are between 150 and 200,000, how many they have in country. If you were to apply this ratio and assume that 10% of the population of Ukraine is no longer present through various means, whether they are just no longer with us or they become refugees. However it happens, you reduce the population by 10%. Russia needs about 800,000 troops. They don't have it. Realistically, they don't have a quarter of what they need to occupy Ukraine. Now, somebody could say that, well, they could ship more troops in. I mean, they could. Russia's total armed forces, this is to include the Navy, Air Force, stuff like that, is just a little more than 1 million. They don't have the troops. Even if they had 1 million to put in, they're not going to leave their home country undefended. They do not have the troops. If Putin is intent on occupying Ukraine, A, it's going to be a long, long fight, as long as he's willing to put up with it. And B, Ukraine will win. All they have to do is keep engaging in minimal resistance, and on a long enough timeline, they will succeed. They do not have the number of troops for the occupation. Even if they committed the number of troops necessary, financially it would break them because it wouldn't happen quickly. These are long things. And by traditional wisdom, Putin still has a little bit of time to truly break the resolve of the country. I personally think that the 1 month thing is outdated. I don't think you have that long. I think the resistance in Ukraine has already stalled. I do not believe he'll be able to hold it. This is why you have so many people just saying this is what's going to happen. And it would take something really, really, really bizarre to alter this. Something unexpected or something unthinkable. Deployment of certain things against civilians, stuff like that, might do it for a time. But the other side to that is normally when popular resistance is broken through that kind of force, it creates another type of campaign that would probably operate deeper in Russia, which is something Putin doesn't want. So the math says Putin will lose. And there isn't much he can do to alter that math. Until you start seeing giant call-ups and massive troop recruitment, all Ukraine has to do is keep fighting, and they win. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.